So let's get to some finance stuff. The State of the Union address, an alternative minimum tax. And so let's go into that real quick because I think that would be an interesting thing to discuss. So this will be a short one.
The idea that in 2020, 55 of the largest corporations in America, the Fortune 500, made $40 billion in profits and paid zero in federal taxes? Zero? Folks, simply not fair. But now, because of the law I signed, billion-dollar companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. God love them. 15%. That's less than a nurse pays.
So, you know who she is, right? Elizabeth Warren. The reason the camera goes to her is she pushed that really hard. So, for those of you that don't know, when you pay your taxes, you have your gross income, your after-tax income, right? And then what ends up happening is you have your adjusted gross income on your taxes, right? And that's what you pay tax on. And that's minus whatever deductions, your personal deduction, child deductions, etc. So it's called an AGI, adjusted gross income. You're not familiar with alternative minimum tax, what that is, or AMT is what he's talking about. That's for ultra rich people and companies. But companies haven't had one forever. Ultra rich people do, because they get to a point where they can deduct so much that it's like they wouldn't be paying taxes otherwise. So they pay an alternative minimum tax. Right? Well, what they do is, why aren't corporations doing that? Because for years, like Starbucks has paid almost zero in taxes in the United States. They pay more in taxes to Canada than they pay to us. And they're an American company. Right? So now they said, well, from now on, we're doing an alternative minimum tax, which he signed into law, and boom, they have to pay 15%. Period. Regardless of what their adjusted gross was, they have to pay 15. Well, that brings in a ton of revenue to solve a lot of other problems. Right? So that's an important thing to understand. It's also an important thing to understand if if you have a big business or even a small business. It's nice to know because small businesses, like I run a couple small businesses, we get raked in taxes. And it's painful because you're sitting there like, okay, I paid 35 or 36% in tax when you factor in state and federal and local and everything else. But then my competitor down the street, it's a billion-dollar company, paid nothing. Right? Makes it hard to compete.
Right.
Not that it wasn't already. But that's I think that's an important factor right there, is that just him talking about raising taxes on, especially on the wealthy. He wasn't talking about anything that would affect you or me or anybody in the bottom 90%. Right? But
I'm wondering if on the opposite side, there's a concern about impact of the stock market.
Yeah, so that was the other thing to talk about too. He talked about putting taxes and penalties on buybacks, stock buybacks. Was something he discussed. We're not going to go into too much about that, but we can go into it real quick now. For those of you who don't know, in stocks, so stocks are valued by demand mostly in the market. But the other thing that factors in is what is the value of the stock, the sort of innate value of the stock. So if Lacey, I have a company, and let's say that the total value, cash value, liquid value today of the company is like 1,000, right? And we have 100 stocks, then our stocks should be around $10 a piece. Now they might be trading for higher or lower in the market, but $10 is sort of the tacked value that we would give it, right? Now, let's say Lacey and I are in a position where we have a lot of extra cash, but they're raising interest rates and stuff like that, right? Well, it's probably not a good position for us to start borrowing money or getting rid of our cash. But what we can do is we can take that cash and buy back a bunch of our stock out of the market, right? So let's say of the 100 shares we had in the market, we bought 50 of them back, okay? So now we only have 50 shares in the market, but we're still worth 1,000. So now the innate value has gone from 10 to 20. So the demand value in the market's going to go up. So the value of our stock's going to go up a lot, even though we've just warehoused that stock on the books. And since Lacey and I are owners of the company and most of our interest in the company is probably in stock, Lacey and I just made a shit ton of money by taking probably government money or tax breaks and using it to buy back our stock, which is what happens all the time. So when you see these like government bailouts and stuff, and then the companies go do huge stock buybacks, that's what they're doing. The executives are basically saying, well, let's take all this free money we're getting from the government. Let's buy back our stock, improve the company position, and in the meantime, we'll all make millions and millions of dollars off that money. And it'll all be legit. I mean, it's almost a way to launder federal government money and then steal it and put it in your own pocket in a legal way.